Welcome everyone to my viewer tournament, our chess stream here on Twitch and lichess.org. My channel on Twitch is Slaggy, and on lichess, Sparkle Horse is my account name. We're going to do a viewer tournament. This is our new Tuesday tradition here. Every 7 p.m. European time on Tuesday nights. Doing different time controls within the limitations that lichess allows. Last week I think we did 5 plus 0. This week I'm doing something longer. 7 plus 2, which we did once a couple weeks ago. I know the players who like the longer classical time controls think this is even not enough. I'm getting challenged by the 2400 guy that beat me yesterday to 8 plus 3. But he doesn't realize I'm doing a viewer tournament. So we're doing 7 plus 2. Tournament starts in 8 minutes. You can enter late. Got 9 entries. Aldisto. Clash Kid is here. Good to see you. Interesting game the other day. I missed a really strong move in the opening there. Queen takes c4. We both missed it. Totally natural looking move. You played Queen f4 in our simul game, Clash Kid. And we both overlooked this tactic. Queen takes c4, knight takes c4, knight e2 check, winning a piece for me. Other than that, it was a good game. That was an interesting game. But good to see some of the subscribers here. I'm a kitty. Not a subscriber yet, but who knows what the future will bring. So, Sirontier, welcome. He's done a lot to help the stream. And I treat him more than a subscriber. He's been a big help, Sirontier, since I started streaming. One of our moderators. And who else is here? Move 11. Move 11. Hope you're feeling better. Guys, I have a tournament game coming up on Sunday. So my simul this week on Sunday will be a faster one, probably 30-30, maybe an hour later starting, because I don't know what time my tournament game is going to finish on Sunday. Anyway, Clash Kid, interesting game there last week in the simul. That followed some kind of very old game, Brown versus Rogoff, from years ago, 30 years ago, more, like 40 years ago. Alright guys, we're going to get underway here in like 6 minutes. I'd like to make the time control even longer, but lichess, the limitation seems to be 7 minutes and 2-second increment, which is arbitrary. There are classical arenas, you know, with 10 minutes. And I'd really like to make it 10-0 or something like 7 plus 5. But hopefully we can create someone can start a forum post and maybe suggest that they make a wider selection available to the time controls that you can create tournaments here. So, what else is up? Aronian and Ding Liren drew all their games in the World Cup. That's getting kind of boring at this point. Another major event decided by Blitz, probably. Okay, what else is in the news? We've got my first tournament game in 2.5 or 3 months on Sunday in the Budapest Team Championship, which is really, it's not a very strong team championship. I play board 1 on my team, sometimes board 2 or board 3, but I'm usually playing board 1. Maybe you should post in the forum about the tournament time control yourself. Yeah, I can post too, of course. But I think if we en masse, if we start to do it together, maybe that's the best thing. Someone starts it, whoever starts it, and like a bunch of us can like beg for more time controls. I'm a kitty. So my point wasn't really necessarily like who starts the forum, but if a bunch of us can ask, maybe they'll give in and make more time controls available. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum, the Roman forum. Roman's forum. Roman's early videos. My former assistant to my development, Jinjiashvili, helped me quite a bit. His first videos were very cheesy. They called them the Roman forum. VHS videos. Alright, we've got 10 players. No, 15 now, it looks like. Yeah, 15 players. Jeroen, thanks for being here. I appreciate your help arbitrating. What's up? Hello, Cormoran, KR. I think the ability to create Swiss-style tournaments would be nice too. Well, there you're talking about maybe altering the whole like programming of the tournament system on lichess, which might be a big deal to them. I agree with you, but that's a big project probably. Creating more formats of tournaments is a big ask, but just simply making it like possible for us to do like 10 minutes and different increments, a wider variety of increments, I think is something they could knock out very easily. More realistic, more realistic request that we can just have 10 minutes and up to like 5-second increments. What is the longest arena tournament, by the way? Is it 10 minutes or are there longer ones? Knight h9, knight h1. Interesting, knight h9. The only advantage of chess.com over lichess Swiss tournaments. Well, yeah, I guess that is something desirable. I think different tournament formats, I'm sure that they'll implement it over time. Lichess is undoubtedly, growing. Seeing a lot more strong players here. Guys, we're starting in like 10 minutes. Oh no, 3 minutes, excuse me. LM Killer Kaz joined the tournament. Aldisto, last week's winner, I think. Cormoran KR has, I don't know, I don't remember him being 2194 last week. He might have gained some points. Xerox is tough. Azuaga, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. Morphital Fisher, haven't seen him in a long time. John Capone, I didn't mention, haven't seen him in a long time. Good to see some names that were regularly following the stream last year. The link to the tournament is up on the stream, and you can click on that. 10 minutes is the longest official tournament. Okay, that needs to be changed. I mean, I know that not that many people play standard classical chess, but I think that's partially because people are afraid of people using computers. But honestly, in today's day and age, it's just as easy to cheat with a computer in 5 or 3 minute as it is in a 10-minute game. 20 years ago, it would have been more difficult, but I don't think it's going to be any different. So, and I think for your improvement, the longer games, 15-minute would be cool, 20-minute would be cool. So it's definitely something that should happen. Morphital Fisher, you were inactive. Your rating dropped 200 points. You dropped 200 points. Rating, as my friend Zlatko Linčić said, rating doesn't matter, just winning tournaments, that's what matters. So that's from a former guy who was like around 2600 at his peak. He dropped to like 2380. So I don't feel so bad, being 100 points below my maximum. All right, hopefully we can still get it back though. Winning tournaments matters. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Having fun matters. It depends on your perspective. All right. I don't know how many top 10 players are going to tell you it's having fun that matters, but in principle, that's true. So I'm going to play as many games as I can reasonably play without like berserking, and maybe occasionally I'll take a break and take a look at like one of the other games. Nefedov says rating matters. Well, I agree with one thing about that, Nefedov. I think that rating matters because it matters to give you and allow you the ability to be able to play stronger players. And I think playing stronger players and helping you get better, that's the main reason why rating might be really important. All right, we're getting started here. We've got 2 hours. It's a long time control. I played Killer Kaz, but not recently, like a long time ago. Okay, it's always hard, these arena tournaments, because I don't particularly like playing the strong player in the first round when I'm not really warmed up yet. But I kind of made up my mind to play the King's Indian to be aggressive in this tournament. I wanted to play like e4 with white and this King's Indian with black and maybe Sicilian with black to try to be as active as I can. I don't remember the two games that Killer Kaz and I played too long ago for me to. Feels like cheating to like look at the game. Okay, so Queen D2. Here we can transpose. Maybe that's what I did against Killer Kaz once before. I don't remember. I kind of like knight takes D4 here. This is a passive way for me to play, though. I feel like I'm going against my initial plan, which was to play aggressively. It's very possible I might have played this against him before. If he played the same system, I do remember playing somebody in a not-so-distant past with this move order. But the black side of Marazzi isn't a very good way to play for a win with black. I'm just kind of... And this sort of setup, I'm just kind of playing what I know the best. Reverting to what I know the best. King H1 now. Kind of an unusual move. I mean, he's getting off this diagonal. He's played F3, which makes F4 seem kind of weird. It almost seems like he wants to play F4, but he can't. But he can. He can play F4. I can play A4. The problem is if I play A4, he plays like he could play B4 and play on the queen side. It seems more logical to play this. It's like a main line, except he's played King H1 instead of Rook C1 or Rook B1. So he's played King H1 in a book position where probably a Rook move would be played. F4. Now this would be a book position, except he's moved the king instead of a rook. Obviously, white is okay. White has more space. Lichess. A5, what's the point? You weaken B5? Yeah, that's the point, man. It's called a dark square blockade. Now, I can play Queen B6 here, very similar to a game I had this June. Queen B6 is the safest move. I could also play A4. It's probably about equal. Now he avoided trading queens, which I can understand. I can understand it in principle. Okay, we're gonna go A4. Now his rook is on C1. It might have been better on B1. Support like B4. I could honestly put my queen on A5. Ayesta, welcome. Now, A5 is a very standard move. If you let white play B4, you're in bad shape usually. So now we have changed the formation, changed the structure. We have a good knight against a bishop that isn't that great, but still isn't that bad. It is a technically bad bishop, but he has so much space that usually offsets it. I've got to watch my E7 pawn. If you guys have a message for me or something, make sure you do it. Do let me know on the Twitch chat rather than send me private messages on lichess here. I've got to think about him playing F4 probably. Alright, well, we'll set up the blockade and get myself... Knight is on a good square. We can defend e7 with a number of reasonable moves. I've also got knight e4 if he tries to play f4. Kind of hard to make forward progress, though, for black. No real breaks. I mean, e6 is very risky. Sometimes necessary to play that kind of move. I might have a3 if I could play like a knight sacrifice on b3, but not easy to do that, obviously. I had that. I attempted to do that in a game recently against World Loser, and he could have taken it and pinned me like on rook b1. His queen wasn't on d2. I tried to do some kind of trick with a3, knight takes b3, but he missed rook b1, in between move. Black is just trying to maintain a kind of solid blockade, and I have to defend my king side oftentimes, but he is tied down a little bit to this pawn. As you can see, it's not easy for him to throw all his pieces at me without dropping the b2 pawn or playing something awkward like rook to c2. Queen e3, for example, allows queen takes b2. So it's kind of annoying for him to have to keep that protected. I mean, I guess I could think about something like a3, but if he closes it up with b3, then I don't know. I don't really have any counterplay. So it's not so easy to play for black. Sometimes the position is a little bit passive. I can try to put rooks like on c7. c7 is a good square. Defend laterally. I'd like to set up b5, actually. If I could get b5 in somehow, but difficult to achieve. Killer Kaz. He spent a lot of time there. I don't know what's the best way to go here. Rook c8, rook c7. I feel like all my pieces are migrated over to the queen side a little bit too much. But this is a standard piece configuration for black. I can play maybe queen d8. Queen d8 is a good move. Not an unusual maneuver, actually. Larsen liked to play the accelerated dragon. The Danish Grandmaster Bent Larsen. This is actually a pretty standard maneuver. Sometimes you have the bishop on g7, and you go even like h5, king h7, queen h8. Real Other Music, want you to know how much I love your streams and keep up the good work. Thank you for the appreciation, man. Thanks for watching and being a positive influence here on the chat. All right, now he does have some pressure on the e-file. Computers like to go in these sort of positions. Even years ago, I played a lot of games with computers, and you feel like you're better with a good knight, but this move looks kind of problematic now. Now what do I do, like b6? Oh man, there's a lot of defense necessary with the look at this. He's gonna create like a triple barrel threat down the file. Got rook a7, rook c7. I mean, I guess I could play e5 if I had to and take with a knight, but I would have a bad structure after that. So my plan is to play like rook a7, rook c7. Not really optimal though. I really wanted to transfer my queen over here and queen g7 and get on the long diagonal. But I haven't had time. I could have played it last move, but he was going to pile up with 3 attackers on e7. So now queen h6. But that's fine. All right. He's going to tie me down. This move was Well, this will be interesting though. If I get the queen active, could be really deadly. Rook e3, rook e7, followed by queen g7, sack the pawn on e7, and just invade on the dark squares. I just don't know if I have enough time. No, something like f5 would be very risky for me. This is the plan. You know, so the endgame, a little less pressure on me here. With the endgame with the queens off, it's not as dangerous for my king, so we should be a little bit safer technically. Maybe g5. Wondering if this is too weakening. It's kind of hard for me to make progress. I guess I could play with one rook. Try to activate one rook. Like h5, h4, open another file. Maybe I should play g5 though. I was a little bit worried to weaken my pawn on the white square. Obviously Killer Kaz is in bad time pressure. I'm not really sure I did the right rook here. Now I want to play h4. Now I don't have a white square pawn. I don't know though. Like a computer, I guess here, I would feel like it would probably draw. I have a big time edge, but I don't think I'm objectively winning this position. I guess we drive his king back. Trying for another avenue of attack. Actually, this is probably a blunder if I play. Yeah, there's really nothing to do there. Maybe I have to play e6 or something. Fortunately, a3 doesn't work. Yeah, he's not letting me get to the H file. The problem is rook a3 is really annoying. I don't objectively think I'm winning here. This is probably not winning this position. Alright, what do I do? Knight d7, knight e5, he has rook a3, which is really... I don't know, I just kind of have a blockade, but I don't know how to win. I can't get my king closer without weakening my structure. You can play e5 or something. Just creates a weakness. I don't objectively think I'm winning here. Okay, that changes the calculations a little bit. All right, I mean, I think that the analysis board is going to show I'm not better here, you know. I mean, okay, I could try to win on time, but there's not that many things to do, you know. The computer says now it's like 0.1 better for black. E6, it's going to play E6. Okay, if I was the kind of player who played, you know, to try to win on time, I mean, I guess I could, but instructively, I just, like, if this was a tournament game, I think I would agree to a draw. I don't really think I'm better here. I don't think that E6 is really anything. I guess I forgot that he can't move his rook here, though. So if E6, whoops, if E6, let's say, I don't know, bishop here, E6, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. I did forget that he can't move his rook here. I was thinking like my D6 pawn come under attack. But objectively, it's equal. Alright, man, good game. Okay, anyway, guys, if you want to contact me, just send me a message on Twitch. Anyway, good game. Alright, let's move on here. I'm already behind the 8 ball here. Last dance. This guy played like a monster against me yesterday. He's now entered this tournament. I think I know who he could be. When was his account created? I'm curious. Yeah, September 21st. Okay. All right. Anyway, we will move on. So, yeah, it's standard game, Killer Kaz. Pretty standard for that variation. I wouldn't be able to win. I mean, I had a lot of games with computers like that. Against the computer, I have 0% chance of winning. Against you, I probably could maybe win on time if you make a stupid move. But anyway, let's go on and play another game. So last dance. Looks like he's gonna win every single game in this tournament. I was joking about the, you can't see it now, there was a Tartakover quote that when we started the arena shows up. It was like, I can't remember now. But I was joking in the chat about the Tartakover quote. Alright, let's get another game going. Let's see how Ayesta is doing there. Oh, we gotta start. Alright. 7+2. Well, actually, the last dance account is super fast, so if you play against him, just keep in mind that his main weapon is extremely fast play. So 7-2 is not the best time control for him, but he still seems very, very strong. He basically, you know, was 4 minutes ahead of me on time the other day in an equalish position. I had no chance on the clock. You played the black side too. Yeah, you can't play the black side of Marazzi for a win, really. I mean, you kind of hope that white overpresses. But I could see that you were at the point where you were like just going to move back and forth. And if you don't push, I can't do anything either. Alright, so Aldisto. I said I was going to play E4 today, and King's Indian and Sicilian with black, so that's what we're going to stick with. Okay, this is called, what, the Taimanov, or Paulson. I get confused, like, as to what the difference is between Taimanov and Paulson, but they're all pretty similar. Here I could play knight b5, I guess. This is a possibility, to play knight b5. What's up with that, by the way? Knight b5 with the idea of, like, g3, and, knight b5 with the idea of g3 and bishop f4. Is that a real line? I like playing g3 anyway in these types of positions, but I can't play bishop f4 because of e5 straight up. So this may actually transpose to a different line, or maybe I just lost the tempo. I don't know. I'm not sure. I probably just lost the tempo. Well, his queen's on b8. You know, it's not the end of the world. I didn't lose a clear tempo. Aldisto likes to do this b5 in the Fianchetto variation, which he's done against me before, in a slightly different position. But I don't really like it for black, you know, and I think the minority of players play it, but not a lot of players play the early b5 in the fianchetto lines. I think it's kind of inherently risky for black to play like this. So Killer Kaz says he plays the accelerated dragon as well. All right. Well, there are ways to avoid the Marazzi. It actually came out of a King's Indian. I should have kept it in the King's Indian, but I chickened out. Okay, now knight f6. Never played this exact position before. What shall we do? Bishop g5 looks really aggressive. It doesn't really feel right, though, to me. Rook e1. We've had similar games against this opponent. Rook e1 not as effective here, though. Now that I drove his queen back to b8, not as effective as if the queen was on c7. Because sometimes I had games where I went like knight d5, and here I can't do that. So I don't know. Maybe this is even a mistake to play rook e1. I mean, I am supporting my strong point. It's going totally ballistico with h5. Doesn't seem really quite sound, but I do see this kind of setup from time to time. Knight d5 anyway. Doesn't hit anything. Doesn't seem right. h3, h4. You play bishop g5. Bishop g5 doesn't make as much sense now. Bishop f4. Kind of like h3. I don't know, maybe this is just a mistake. Possible this move is just a mistake, I don't know. It's just a very sharp position. Aldisto is fast. He seems to be getting stronger lately. Beat me a couple times. And all the games are always tough. So last dance. I think it's another account that made another player who's played on the stream before but made a new account. My score. It's an open tournament. You know, I could make it private, but I didn't really like doing that the first time I played. It was too hard for people to to type in the password. All right. Yeah, I have questions about my playing knight b5 in this game. Okay, I did drive his queen back to b8. If his queen were on c7, he would have bishop c5. So the tempo came back. Tempo that came back. And now, I mean, it looks good. I like this. To play e5. I didn't really calculate d6, e5, bishop takes g2, pawn takes d6, queen b7. That's super weird. That would be insane. I just assumed this was good for me. I expected him to play queen c5 here. He can also play bishop c5, which is similar but not the same as like a kind of known variation. If you took away the h5, h3, this almost looks like a book position. Yeah, well, there's always the possibility of suspicion. But I looked at Last Dance's games, and he seemed to have quite a few losses, so I wasn't suspicious of him overtly. But anyway, it's just for fun, man. I mean, don't take it too seriously. Bishop takes c7, bishop takes d4. It's a training tournament, basically. Bishop takes c7. I don't really want to trade queens in this kind of position. But he's going to up the pressure. He's going to up the pressure on my f2 square. So I've got to play like queen d2. Because queen d3 I like better, but then like queen b6, where do I go? Rook e2. But the ending doesn't look super promising for me. I mean, it's not bad. I could play bishop takes c7 and maybe like knight to d1 or something. But I don't think the white has an advantage there. Alright. We'll just keep everything protected for the time being. Try to play solidly. It's basically turning into a blitz game. But if you think there's a suspicious player, you should report them to lichess. Not just in this tournament, but in any tournament, because you know, everyone deserves to play, you know, legitimate opponents, not like computers. So you owe it to everybody to report the suspicious guys. Clash Kid. Now, yeah, the question is what? Knight d5. Knight d5 is interesting. Knight takes d5, pawn takes d5. And then he's... I don't know what's going on. Should I play knight d5 and close all the pressure down on the open file? I don't have much after that. But anyway, knight d5, knight takes, pawn takes, d6. I'm wasting a lot of time here. Well, it looks about equal to me. I mean, he has weakened his king side, though. You know, what is he going to do? Like, play like it's just totally a normal situation on the king side? Maybe that's the suspicious thing about his setup. When you weaken the queen side with b5, you can't castle over there. Then you play h5, you weaken the king side, you can't castle over there. It's like, where do you expect to castle with black? I mean, we've all seen like crazy guys like Topalov castle with a pawn on h5, but it's not that simple. Black's king is a little bit sketchy here. Just ask myself, what would Magnus Carlsen do? The ultra simple. Okay, well, maybe white's a little better. Was there queen f6 takes the knight? I don't know about that. Not sure what you mean. Lots of recaptures here. Rook takes or queen takes or pawn takes. They all look interesting. Not sure about rook takes, honestly. Rook h6. Wow. Alright, I want to fix those pawns on the right color. I don't want him playing h4. He's castling manually. So we've got the lever on the queen side, and that gives us a structural advantage. Hard for him to coordinate this rook with the rest of the pieces. Although I'd like, you know, in principle, I'd like it, what he's doing. You know, it's still hard to make it 100% work. So we try to target this b5 pawn, maybe grab the a file. He played queen a5. Whoa. All right. It's not so bad, c3 pawn, honestly. Got a lot of pressure on b5. Now my e3 pawn, my e3 rook, actually very important here. This rook is holding my position together. He's going to lose b5. He's going to lose b5, and then we've got the trash compactor on the queen side, which is very strong, like c4, c5. He just overlooked this. But now he's going to lose the exchange and not have any compensation. The rook is not coordinated in the endgame. I think he went wrong with queen a5. I mean, he was just going on a bad path there, where he actually helped me play b4. He means when both queens were under attack. Both queens were under attack by the bishops, respectively. So here... But I wasn't sure what he meant here. I wasn't sure like what move he was referring to. Like queen b6 or queen c6. Queen f6. Was there a queen f6 take the knight? I wasn't sure what he means exactly. All right. So let's see this guy just winning every single game. What did he play on move 1? d4. He played the London system against me. But I said he played like 2700 in lichess strength. It's basically a brand new account. I can't restrict, unfortunately, the entries to just rated players with a certain amount of games. I would like to make it like 50 games required to play in the tournament. All right, anyway, we're waiting for the next game. It's 2 hours. It's a pretty long tournament, but 7 plus 2 of the games can last over 15 minutes. So I wasn't sure. Queen takes f6, but when... Well, there's that game. But I mean, in my game, I didn't see any queen f6. You guys knew what I meant. Instead of queen d2, queen f6. But how do I play... I have queen f6? What? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Now I understand. Wait a minute. Are you serious? I had queen f6? Huh? Oh my god. Yeah, no wonder I don't understand, because it never even entered my mind. I have queen takes f6 in this position. Man, queen f6, bishop takes f2 check, king takes f2, queen c5 check. Yeah, it looks like it works. It's funny, I was like looking for tactics and I still didn't see it. Rudy Stell, I can't play a 60-minute game. Yeah, I was sitting there even looking for tactics and I still didn't see queen takes f6. Oh my god. That's why I didn't understand your question, because the move never even entered my mind. It's so funny. There's an analogous position where that similar thing can happen, but I've never seen queen f6 before. That's really disheartening, you know, to not see you can just win a piece. The French defense. Alright. Yeah, I think it obviously wins a piece. Xerox playing the winnower, which I don't know that well. We'll try to play classical chess here. Queen a5. Ildar Abragimov, my friend, played this once or something similar against me. Maybe it was the same position, I don't remember. I know like there are games with h4, but I can't do that right away. Okay, queen g4. And then like rook a2 or something? Queen g4, knight e7, rook a2. And like what happens if knight f5? It would be good to know a little bit of theory here. I'm totally out of book. This is a variation I should probably know, but I've been playing the Tarrasch lately with white, and I really avoid French defense players when I do play e4. So queen g4, knight e7 looks pretty good for black. Actually, Ildar played something like king f8 against me. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that the game? Wait, maybe that's the line, king f8 here. Because if knight e7 I take, and then when he plays rook g8 I take on h7, I'm defending c2. I don't know. This is definitely my game with Ildar. But I think I'm supposed to play like rook a2 here. I don't know the lines. Against Ildar, I just like sacked the pawn on. I tried to do something crazy and sack the pawn on e2, on c2. I think would be good to know a little bit of theory. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see queen takes f6 at all, and I was literally looking at other tactics. Like I don't know what there are though. What other tactics are there? I was just sitting there hoping something would pop out in my mind, and it didn't. I didn't even understand what you were talking about. It was so far from my thought process that it didn't even. I didn't understand what you meant. Queen takes f6. That's horrible. You know, blind spot. So bishop takes f2 check, king takes f2, queen b6 or c5 check. I just played bishop e3. Okay, you should play queen b6 check, bishop e3. Oh, hold on a second. Bishop takes f2 check, king takes f2, queen b6 check. His pawn's on a6, and that's critical. So if his pawn was on a7, I could play bishop e3, he could take on f6, and he might be okay getting two pieces, but that should be just winning for me. I just win a piece in the last game. You know, personally, I don't like the setup that Aldisto plays with black there. I think it's too risky. There are lots of solid ways to play against the fianchetto formation. b5 seems a little bit over the top. When I looked at that, I didn't find very many games for black. You can play without playing b5, you know, and get a perfectly decent game. Okay, now, if I remember correctly, when they do b6, we're supposed to, like, move our knight out this way. Am I going to have a problem with my d4 pawn? Am I going to have a problem with my d4 pawn? Should I play something like passive, like knight f3? Knight h3 doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, he could play like knight e7 and that just knight f5. Do I have any real threats here? Knight h3, knight e7, knight g5 doesn't do anything. Seems like I need to develop my pieces. I don't know. I remember a friend of mine showing me a game once, something similar to this, but I have no idea if it was the exact position. I don't think so. It's very unlikely. I think he could just play, well, he could just play like knight e7 there. Well, this move is interesting. I'm not objectively sure if it's good or not. Here I'm least protected. Now we have nothing to worry about in terms of the queen being protected. I can go knight g5 with some threats. It's not the end of the world for black, but at least like laterally. Trying to get knight to h5. Knight h5 would be nice. Yeah, if he gave me a couple tempi. Alright. So he's going to put the Botvinnik style knight on f5, I guess. But I have knight g5 here, which actually looks pretty good. I mean, knight g5, just threatening primitive mate. And then we go, bishop d3 next. Trade off his knight on f5. It's a good way to defend my d4 pawn. I guess he could play f6. No, then I have knight takes e6 check. Okay. Well, anyway. If something like bishop a6 happens, it's going to be pretty insane. Actually, that's complicated. I could actually... Bishop a6 is kind of scary. Maybe I just castle. Sack a pawn or something. Can I really sack a pawn? I guess I could always move my knight back to f3 if I had to. He's got another knight coming to c6 though. There's queen c4. Queen c4 is a real biatch. No, I take on f5. He can't go queen c4 right away. All right. Now we try to find something. e6 looks pretty dangerous. Threatening mate in several. I mean, for that matter, I can just take on f5. Isn't he getting in trouble here? I have e6. Okay, I can't castle, but I can play like f3, king f2, and then bring the rest of my pieces in the game. Like he has to play like queen d7 or queen e8. I mean, f6 is ridiculous. I mean, one would assume queen e8 there, but now e6. Opposite color bishop position. I have bishop f4, bishop d6 threats, which is very hard to defend against. Virtually impossible. I mean, okay, he has f6, but it's kind of a nightmare. This gives my king a better square, like here. Time control this 7+2. Yeah, well, if you're not used to it, but I do play a lot of this type of time control. 7-3, 8+3 is basically the same thing. Queen e8 was better, almost certainly. Yeah, now I have knight f7 looks. Hold on a second here. Maybe I best be careful. What am I doing? Knight f7, g6. Guess I can play anything there, like queen h3. Feels like the position is getting a little bit weird. I can't castle. I can play king d2 though. All right. Well, we'll play queen h3 if I have to. Oh, this is just hanging. Okay, that kind of refutes g6, I guess. But I don't know what else he can do. Bishop c4, bishop d6, g6, queen takes d5 is well, he's got bishop b7. I mean, it's hard to believe that he would have enough. I mean, all of his stuff is hanging. No development. Doesn't look good. I've been looking at Nezmadinov games between streams, so maybe that'll help. He didn't help me find queen takes f6 that other game, though. Should I play bishop d6 first? I don't know, somehow that makes me feel safer or something. I don't know why. He's only down the exchange here. Actually has some threats. King is not very safe. Damn, he's fast too. He finally blundered. Oh man, that was insane game as usual against the Rocks. I don't know if I'm even okay there for the blunder. Apparently I'm winning, but it was extremely hairy. Damn. At one point he was equal. Alright, man, crazy game. Anyway, guys, we're hosting a viewer tournament here. This guy, Last Dance, I mean, I don't know who he is. He just wins every single game he plays. I have no idea what the deal is there, but we're playing. Anyway, we're playing for fun, and that player looks like he's just off the charts, strength-wise. He used like 2 seconds of move against me to just crush me like a dog. I guess it's a grandmaster who wants to play in my 7-2 arena. Anyway, guys, let's get back in the tournament here and see what we can do. We're way behind on 5 points. He's got 24. He's going to win every game, like perfect play. What was that other guy's name? Don't Do It Again? Maybe it's Don't Do It Again. And he's created a new account. It kind of feels like that. Except I thought that Don't Do It Again was playing e4. So he had his account banned. This is another guy who was playing in my viewer tournaments a couple times. 83 viewers, good guys. I think that's a record for the what am I doing here? Alright, we'll transpose to the normal symmetrical English. I was a little bit spaced out. I wanted to play King's Indian against e4, Sicilian against e4, and Aldisto played c4 and kind of confused me. Went for a King's Indian, but you can't really, you could force a King's Indian type position, but it's a hybrid. It's more like a Sicilian than a King's Indian. Symmetrical English. We had a game earlier. I did make a mistake a couple weeks ago against Aldisto. Now, I think I'm supposed to play a6. Well, maybe I'm thinking of a different position. Anyway, a6 is perfectly fine. It's like one line. Can you even get banned since it's casual? No, anybody can get banned, regardless if it's casual or not. If you think somebody's suspicious, you should report them, regardless of casual or not casual. Because they can play in tournaments and just kill people. I've delayed castling here. Makes me wonder, maybe I should just continue to do so. Let's just delay castle. Let's not castle and see how that works out. He's already like coming at me on the king side with his pawn expansion. I don't think I've ever played a closed Sicilian exactly like this before. But it looks reasonable. I mean, okay, he has e5. If I play b5, he has e5. That's the question. Maybe I need to play d4. Knight d4, that is. First. If he takes, I guess I take back with the pawn and increase my central majority. We got in b5 first. Almost have tactics here. We almost have something on b2. This is my second time with Aldisto. That's the weird thing about arena tournaments. You know, you do get paired with the same players. I like the structure for black, chipping away at his center. Fortunately, rook takes b2, queen takes b2, knight takes e2. I mean, I'm just basically sacking the exchange there for a pawn. Doesn't look like quite enough. Almost. I do have queen a5. Queen a5 looks kind of irritating for white, actually. Then he'll win a pawn at d4. That's a problem. Okay. I can't do queen a5, unfortunately. We'll have to settle for this. I mean, I guess I could play e5, but that's pretty anti-positional. We'll have to settle for this. We drive his knight, I mean his queen over. Yeah, whatever. queen a5. Probably I should just castle. Yeah. He's playing pretty fast, but structurally, this is favorable to get in b5 and b takes c. What did you win? What do you win? I don't know, man. I don't know why anybody would cheat in a casual tournament, but people do all kinds of weird things. Mass murdering other people. It's hard to say why people do things they do, but they do. So anyway, I've only got a mere 5 points. I'm playing pretty slowly. I drew the first game against I don't know if he's still here. Actually, where is Kaz gone? Did he just play one game and quit, or did he lose or something? Maybe he got paired with Last Dance. Last Dance is going to win every single game he plays. Don't do it again style. Maybe that's a signal. His name. This is his Last Dance. Rook d1. You're like, oh man, asking for it. Am I winning a pawn? It's risky to take the pawn with the bishop. Queen a5, rook d2. Queen a5, rook d2. Rook takes b2, rook takes b2. Queen takes c3, rook somewhere. And then queen takes e3. That's a funny ending. I'd probably have compensation for the exchange there. Rook takes b2. No, what am I talking about? I can't do it right away. Queen a5, rook b2, d2, rook takes, queen takes. And then he goes, well, he's got rook b3 there, so I don't really like it. It's not really enough for the exchange, unfortunately. And then my queen ends up in a stupid place. I don't want to give up my dark square bishop since I'm castled. If I wasn't castled, maybe I could get away with that. So this is a really good move by white. Anyways, I was hoping white would make some kind of mistake, but he's not. Now, well, it gets interesting. I could take on b2, and knight takes e7 check, king h8 is actually a little bit messy. He's got like rook d2, rook d2, rook takes d2, whatever. Interesting. Alright, well, we only live once. I'm getting low on time. I'm going to go for this. At least I break down his structure, he breaks mine. The position is something that crops up in a normal accelerated dragon sometimes. This is an undeveloped bishop at c8. I was thinking maybe bishop b7 in the future, and then rook e8 to kind of try to trap his when I'm done stuttering, I'll try to trap his knight on e7. But here I have other moves. I mean, I can play queen takes a2. Queen takes a2. I'll be temporarily up. Actually, he has bishop takes d2. Queen takes a2. What else can I do? Queen a2 or rook d2? Yeah, maybe this wasn't best. Okay, I have knight b6. That looks better. It's not a great square for the knight, but it really ties him down. Knight takes c8, knight takes c4, possibly stealing a pawn. I also have bishop d4 check in any moment. The question is it a good move? At any moment. Well, his knight takes d6. Maybe I should just take back. Rook takes c8, rook c1. There's an argument to be made for that. If I play knight takes c4, knight takes d6. Knight takes d2. Running out of time. Not convinced by that position. I probably made a mistake not throwing in the check when I should have. I'm banking on him having a bad piece in this position. Materials equal, but I have... Thought I had an idea. Thought I had an idea, but apparently not. Damn it. Gets to bring his king to the center. I knew it would be a mistake. I knew it was a mistake to not do that. Such an idiot. Now I could even lose if I'm not careful. I do have an idea. I thought I was in deep trouble, but maybe I'm okay. I don't know. Maybe I can even force a draw. I mean, now I'm slightly worse. I messed this up. I would be satisfied with a draw here. Similar to my first game against Killer Kaz. He has 2 bishops. Okay, I mean, he might have some chances. I don't know. Knight a4, knight b2. What do you win? There is no prize. If you think someone is suspicious, though, definitely report them to lichess, and hopefully they will get banned. He played bishop f3 now, and I like it. I'm getting the file. I thought he had to play rook b1 there. Maybe he has a trick. Okay, now down. I must play this move. With a better ops color bishop if he takes my knight, and my knight gets away if he doesn't, which was key. What am I planning here? Bishop a5, rook takes a2. We are threatening rook takes a2. Maybe. Probably. What's the time advantage? Aldous, though. You play a lot of bullet? 4,000 games. Yeah, something. Oh, no. Whoa, what am I doing? What am I doing? I didn't really want to do that originally. Wow. Oh my god. What is going on here? He's calculated this? Unbelievable. Yeah, apparently he has. What? No. I thought his bishop was on e2. Alright, we're temporarily up a pawn. Still he has some counterplay. He's right on it. Oh my god. I have to play this. What am I doing? Bishop b2, take, take. That's dumb. That would be really dumb. Yeah, I have no idea. That's amazing, White's play. I guess I'm like slightly worse now. Maybe his bishop doesn't have too many squares. Well, if this is a good move, but I'm running out of time. Holy crap. He's just clearly better now. He's a pawn down. How could he be clearly better? Okay, I'm freaking out. He's not a pawn down. It's equal pawns. He was a pawn down. Okay. What a game. Wow. Looks like I'm losing for sure. Impressive game by White. I'm going nuts. What should I have done? I mean, if anybody has any suggestions, like what you want to do, this guy played like brilliantly. I mean, seriously. For 2100. Rook, whatever it was. Rook C1 or going down a pawn to win it back. I mean, that's insane. I could see in like a standard game, but man, that's a nice game. Okay, he didn't play the best move there. He was probably easily winning with like King E3. Now it's some hope for survival, though I'm probably still lost. My knight is trapped. Hard to believe I can survive with a knight trapped on G3. Wow. I almost lost on time. Obviously, I can't hang my A pawn. He's super fast too. God, dude. Now he's kind of freaked out. Now I'm winning. I still have to make progress. It's lucky my pawn isn't any further advanced here. Yeah, this was a dirty win. I should have lost. To get the knight to f2. I had a student who actually stalemated in this position. I don't know if he's watching now. He's not online now. Alright, man, that was lucky. Last Dance has just perfect score with 43. Hard to believe why anybody that good would play in this tournament. Just to troll me or something. Got a challenge. Trout's Troutz doesn't seem to know. I've got viewer tournament now. Alright, dude. Viewer tournament. Exclam. Alright, anyway. I don't know. Minimum. Come on, that's so annoying. Minimum length is 3. Come on with that. What a stupid rule. Alright, join the tournament. Maybe I have Morphetal Fisher second, Xerox third. I'm just not playing enough games, man. My games are too long. How many like insanely long games have I had? I gotta stop playing the Marazzi with black or things like that. Just play more tactically. But this guy is gonna win every single game in perfect fashion. It's not suspicious. He doesn't talk either. Alright. Morphetal Fisher in second, Xerox in third, Cormoran in third. No, fourth, Quaz. Me. How do I just have 9 points? I had a bad start with the draw against Killer Kaz. Couldn't get the streak starter started. I need to berserk more. I don't berserk really. I should, but I mean, how can I talk about the game if I've got 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes or something? I'm doing this to like help people get better, not to like win. You know, win the tournament. I'm the host. It wouldn't be very gracious of me to go all out and start like berserking and killing people. And anyway, you guys are too good. I'm not a machine. Move 11. Alright. I promised to play e4 today. Sicilian and King's Indian. We're going to stick to the repertoire. Liking power. Liking power. Yeah. Well, I think that people's ISPs should get banned. Not just their accounts. I guess that is possible. Because they'll just keep making new accounts. I guess lichess does ban ISPs though. I'm not really privy to that information. Alright, move 11. You know, actually, let's play like a normal line. I play queen takes sometimes, but I actually prefer to play the main line accelerated dragon. I have played this last year I played this once last year in the Hungarian Team Championship. Managed to win kind of luckily against an old IM. Don't play knight a5. So move 11 played a5. I've played this quite a bit. F3 is a good move, but I'm not really up on the theory. Yellow Dragoon played that against me, I think. But I guess castles is also possible. Now F3 seems, yeah, castles. A4, that's complicated. Alright, I'll be a wimp and play a4 here. Yeah, the philosophy is to play slow and play better. This is kind of the mainline Ugal variation, I guess. Nesmedinov, speaking of him, he did play a game with queen h4. Was it this position? Had to be. There was some queen sacrifice. Actually, I think I'm supposed to play. I'm probably supposed to play queen h4 here. Queen d1 seems safer. But white doesn't have too much here. I've got the messed up structure. I know that this rook move is like a very common idea for black in this line. So much for that. I don't really have much. There's a problem with my b3 pawn. This just looks lame for white. But I'm not playing my main stuff. I'm playing e4 every game. I actually play the accelerated dragon, but I don't play exactly like this for black, so I don't know what I'm doing with white. As I was saying, I played other plans. Not knight g4. Knight takes d4 and bishop d7 sometimes. A lot of other lines without a5 I play with black, but this particular position I should have stuck with them. Now this doesn't seem really right here. I mean, it's not a bad move. You can put the rook on c6, but I think the point is to like put it on e6, if I remember correctly. I really don't have anything in this position. This is actually not bad. Rook c6. Negating my play along the c file. Just don't have anything with white, and the stupid bishop e6 is going to come along at any moment and harass me. So I just don't know. I feel like just giving him my b3 pawn. I don't have a plan. There's no real plan. Attacking on the king side would be nice, but there's not a lot of pieces left to do it with. So rook on c6, actually very difficult to get rid of. Maybe it wasn't a bad move. Alright. Don't play like this. Queen d1 I guess is just too lame. We have to play, I guess we have to play queen h4. Otherwise it's just too passive. It just doesn't feel like I have anything here whatsoever. f4, f5 is slow. Knight d5 doesn't do anything. Plus he has e6. Queen d2 allows my b pawn to be weak. Alright, let's play f4 and then decide what to do based on what he does. This will give us f5 at some moment, maybe. I could just play f5 straight away. It's probably not that bad. He's threatening to win a pawn, but that would cost him his dark squared bishop, which is a pretty high price to pay. Although maybe I should guard pawn and just play. Maybe white isn't worse here. I don't know. He could play f5. That would drastically change the structure. I could probably sacrifice the pawn on c3, though. It's an option. Not a very exciting position to get with white, though. I don't have much dynamics, and I've got this double pawn. I have a little bit of better control in the center. How much that's worth, I don't really know. He doesn't have any breaks except for f5 or e5, which are both kind of risky. So it's kind of hard for both sides to do something here. We've got 5 minutes to 3. World Loser was not here today. Actually, we must have a moderator in the chat. I think Jeroen is Jeroen still playing? Yeah. He's playing Xerox. Jeroen is playing his Sveshnikov with black. I don't want to leave my game in the middle of it. Maybe next round we'll take a look at another game. But as I said, I mean, I could berserk, of course. But I like to commentate and learn something from the games. So if I was going to berserk, I would just make the tournament like 3-0 in the first place or something. Kamran Shirazi. Cormoran played with World Losers, so he is here. Alright, now bishop d7. Black's position looks, it looks a little passive, like he doesn't have a plan either, which is good. But what's my plan now? f5. I could play king h1 maybe. It doesn't eliminate the back rank threat, but it is a useful waiting move. And would eliminate possibilities of him like trading queens, kind of like my first round game against can never remember his name. Killer Kaz. Guys, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday I play Blitz and Classical Chess in the mornings, European time, here on lichess, usually at 10 a.m. Tuesdays is this your viewer tournament. Thursdays I have a subscriber stream on lichess, and Sundays I do a simul. This week's simul, the subscriber stream on Thursday is 7 p.m. This week's simul on Sunday will be starting a little bit later, and usually I start at 6:30. We'll probably start at 7:30 and make it a 30-30 simul instead of 40-40. Just so you guys are interested in playing in the simul on Sunday, that you know it's going to be an hour late start and a slightly faster time control. E6. He stopped F5. I'm not really happy about that, but he's also weakened the D6 square. I'd like to play E5 somehow and get a bind on the dark squares. Can't figure out a way to do it though. Time is short. He can't attack B3. So what can I do? I don't know. Nothing going on in the F file now. Feels like I should shift to a different sort of plan. Okay, nothing's attacking B3. Maybe I'll bring this over here, and then what's the plan? Still, there's no good plan. I mean, I could trade his dark squared bishop off, or try to. But I was concerned about bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, queen b6, forcing a trade of queens. Because my b2 pawn would be hanging. You know, that's a problem. This is just going to come down to kind of blitz. Anyway, welcome to my stream, guys. Focusing on instructive chess, not winning on time. I had to resort to winning on time, essentially, in at least one game. Okay, now queen c8. I could have guessed that was a possibility. We've got knight b5 now. Knight b5 with threats against d6. He doesn't have any pressure on my center. The only flaw in black's position. We're focusing on d6 now. I've got the threat of knight a7 as well, and a5 is hanging for whatever that's worth. It's basically probably just a trade of pawns. I don't think this is that significant. The main point is d6, which has gotten weaker. Well, like now he might have to play something awkward like queen b8. Queen b8 looks decent, actually. I can play knight a7, but it doesn't work because of rook takes c1. Knight takes c8, rook takes f1 check. I have all sorts of moves here. Bishop b6. It's pretty awkward for black. He can sack his queen. He either sacks his queen or he goes back to f8. Because rook e8 just loses to knight takes d6. Well, worst case scenario, rook takes b6, rook takes c8, rook takes c8. Maybe knight takes d6. And now my bishop is hanging. Knight a7 still doesn't really work, though it may not be a bad move, actually. I'm still clearly better there. Knight takes d6, queen b8 is a little awkward. Alright, I don't know. This feels wrong to go knight a7. What the heck am I doing? Okay. We take and play bishop c5. It's okay. Everything's guarded. Famous last words. The knight is a kind of killer on d6, and now I can go back here. Maybe he should have sacked his queen. I don't know if that was good enough. But we are, more importantly than winning a pawn, because I don't have a passed pawn. I've increased my control of the center and some key squares. So I don't think I'm overtly winning yet, but we've got a big edge compared to where we were at before. He's really on a precipice, and his rook on f8 is totally blocked in. Yeah, now f6. f5 or f6, f5 I meant to say. I hope he doesn't have some kind of tricks. Rook d8. We're just going to keep focusing on, yeah, rook d8, knight takes f7 looks devastating. We've got lots of tactics now. Black's pieces are very passive. But I don't think out of the opening I had anything. I might have even been slightly worse after the first, like, 12 moves. Queen c7. Alright, again, knight b5 is possible. I'm just going to play this simple move. Everything's protected. And then we play for f6 next. Maybe you should play f6. Scary as that looks. Before I do, I've got knight takes f7 here. Does it do anything? Just pawn takes g6. I hope this isn't a blunder. Could be. Not really the best move there. Rook d1, but okay, we'll take it. He could have taken on f7. Bishop takes f7. And I'd have a little bit of work to do, but I guess I'm winning. Objectively, like this game, I guess after the opening he was equal. I'm just curious here what I did wrong. Okay, a4 is not that dangerous, but queen d1 is not. Yeah, queen h4 is the better move. Okay, that's what I thought. Bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4. That's weird. That's another move. Okay, guys, back to the arena. Back to the arena of decimation. World Loser finally made it onto the top 10 list. And I'm closing in on a prize. I have to catch up to Cormorants somehow. Might as well just resign. Alright, he played e4. Last time he played the London system with white. So he plays e4 and d4. I can't wait to see this. Plays everything. The London system, the Rossalimo. That's pretty flexible. This is not theoretical. Not really a common line. I see a lot of beginners play this. Bishop b5. It's also a computer move. But this is a backdoor Moscow. He could play the Moscow variation with, or what's it called, the checkover variation. With c takes d, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, queen takes d4. Bishop e3, allowing knight to g4. Is that a mistake? But now we're in a book position. Did he have bishop takes c6 last move? Bishop takes c6, pawn takes c6, knight takes c6, knight takes e3, knight takes d8, knight takes d1. I guess that's okay for me. I think this is just my game against Emil Salanci from a first Saturday one time, an IM tournament or something. Maybe it was a GM tournament. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Go home. Queen b6. It's a theoretical position, the Caroclage variation. This player does seem kind of suspicious. He's insanely strong. He played like an amazing game against me the other day. Ultra fast, like he didn't think more than 2 seconds on any of his moves. But, you know, now there's a mouse slip, king f1. I can't give any takebacks. I just have to win a piece, I guess. That's weird. I asked to resign because of the mouse slip. Well, that improves my standing. Castle's knight takes f2 was my game that I mentioned. There's not many games with queen b6. It's more common to play h6 and g5 instead of queen b6 for black. I'm not sure how good queen b6. I used to think it was the better move for black, but this is a very strange move order to position. But anyway, no, this position is, there's something wrong here. Is he like a temple? What is going on? Why is this messed up? That's weird. I don't understand. I thought this was a transposition. It should be a transposition. Where's my game? Okay, maybe it's in there and you just can't see it. So castles, yeah, this is the right position. Castles, I played knight takes f2 against Salanci. But I'm not sure how good this really is. 2008. Rook takes f2, queen takes d4. And then we agreed to a draw. White has queen f3 though. That looks better for white. So maybe this line just isn't very good. I don't think the engine really, I think it needs more time to evaluate this. It says 0.5 after f6. It's a crazy position. I mean, knight takes f2 isn't forced. It's a risky move by me. I mean, a lot of people have played queen takes d4, and this is a normal game. Anyway, all right, so back to the tournament. Keep having problems with your connection going out as the games begin. I get forfeited. Yeah, that sucks. More Fetal Fisher. Playing the Alekhines with white with knight c3. Alright, waiting for another game. We got lucky mouse slip. But Last Dance, he seems incredible. I mean, I would put him at like 2400 FIDE plus. Looks, he could be a good player, but it looks a little overwhelming. Reminding us of someone else who dominated my tournaments a couple weeks ago. If you watched my tournament like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was this player called Don't Do It Again, and he basically had the same exact MO as Last Dance. So he had his account banned. I mean, it's possible it's the same guy, but it's possible that Last Dance is a real player too. So it's hard to say. That's why I really would prefer not to have players like 50 games or less. Like he has like, I don't know, like 50 games overall, 100 games, mostly, well, a lot of bullet, but I'd rather like there was like a minimum cutoff to play in the tournament. I would make it 100 games. Actually, he has more than 50, so I don't know what you can say. Nefyedov. All right, Nefedov. It looks pretty weird he made a mouse slip against me. Lucky me. All right, knight f6. We're in third place. I don't know if I can hold on, though. I'm a little bit slow. I'm not trying to win the tournament. I mean, I'm trying to do my best, but I'm not berserking and going crazy, and I'm playing normal games. Not trying to play super fast to try to win on time. It saved me against Aldisto, though, in a lost position where he had less time. He managed to lose a totally winning ending. That was a miracle. Now, Nefedov, we've been here before, right? We've been here a couple times already. If I wanted to draw, you know, or equalize, I can play d5. But the thing is, Nefedov is a player who, well, he's not really 1700. Oh, yeah, okay, he's 1700. He feels like he's stronger, though. This is a player who I'm supposed to beat, so I want to try to play for a win. So I'm not doing this variation with d5, which really leads to mass amounts of simplification. All right. Maybe I'm supposed to play bishop e6 first. Does it really matter? If he played bishop c4, I could play bishop e6. I had a game like that once. Now I'm threatening bishop takes a2. And in one of my streams, Nefedov blundered and allowed me to do an exchange sacrifice on c3. We had the same position, basically, last week. Sorry about your disconnection problems, Move 11. Well, fortunately, they're not rated games, so it doesn't really matter that much. How many players do we have finally? We'll have to check it out afterward. I can open up a new board. You are playing. Join the game. We have 79 players. Awesome, guys. We'll do this every week. Different time controls, though. Last time I did like 5-0. Or loser's letting his clock run. Well, maybe there's another reason for that. I don't think he would troll anybody. Maybe he's just got connection problems or had to go do something. You know, sometimes like people ring the doorbell when you're in the middle of a game, or your baby is like crying or something. There are some excusable reasons for that kind of stuff. This knight takes f6, bishop takes f6. It's a draw position. It's going to be hard to beat Nefedov here, but I feel obliged to try. How would you try? Not trading pieces on his terms. Bring my king to the center. And hopefully we can do better than half a point. I mean, this is the bane of many Dragon players' lives, you know, when white plays like knight d5, trading pieces. You lost your concentration last games. So guys, again, Blitz and classical streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, 10 a.m. European time. It makes me what think otherwise, but the exact move it happened. Yeah, I'm paranoid too. I was trying to say. Okay, Nefedov, we're trying to carve out some dark square control. He could play f4 actually. Then maybe what do I do with f4? I rethink my whole strategy. Maybe I have to play h5 if he goes f4. It's a little frightening. This move is kind of disturbing. Yeah, I mean, Nefedov played like he wants a draw, which, you know, unlike Grandmaster Romanov, I don't think that's like a shame. You know, it's not a shame if you're playing someone higher rated to, you know, to aim for a draw. But you have to be careful about doing it, that you don't, you know, play too passively. Although I think objectively you shouldn't be afraid of people and try to play for a win. No, if there's a tournament situation where a draw is enough, you know, you need to kind of play for a draw sometimes. But if Nefedov wants a draw, you know, hopefully he'll be reticent to play an aggressive move like f4, and he'll start to play slightly passive moves, you know, and here that might be the case. I can play g5, but I can also play like rook c3. Will my rook get trapped? Should I play g5, by the way? g5, take. Do I go with the crazy king? g5, take, check. f6, g3. Alright, man, we're gonna go. It's kind of risky for me to do this, but the other possibility was rook c3 to freeze him there, but I didn't like him playing f4, so I decided to stop him. Now, the question is, if he takes, I take with the pawn, check. If he checks me, do I go back? I guess that's the sensible thing to do. I could go to e5 though, and I think that it's worth considering playing king e5, but it could be very complicated. You could have some crazy moves. I kind of like king e5 actually. Then he has man, I could even walk into f4. Rook h6 check, king e5, rook h5, king f4. With a crazy active king. And then if g3 takes, rook takes, king there, I'm better. He played g3 first. So I think I need to go and fight for the h-file now. And then play king e5. But this is a little bit mental. Now I have f5 maybe. f5 takes, bishop takes, check. I'm only like a tiny bit better here. Can't play b5. Rook c8, king b2. I have a5. Focusing on the dark squares, but I don't know if this is really a good move or not. The problem is if he ever leaves the h-file, I'm going to be down on the 7th. We're playing for a4 now, second flank. A second flank invasion. Down to 15 minutes. I have time for 2 more games at the most. Crazy king. What's the tournament standing? The LD is first place. Xerox. Cormoran is now ahead of me. Cormoran is 2200 classical. Pretty solid. Morphital Fisher catching up. World loser. World loser is off today. He's had an off day. Usually he's a contender for the tournament. Alligator. He entered probably late. Who else is dangerous? Orbitich. Orbitich is hanging around. He probably entered late too. But nobody can even nick Last Dance unless he makes some kind of mouse slip. I would like to see somebody at least draw a Last Dance. My win doesn't really count. Bishop c4. You know, I was thinking about that earlier. I mean, he wants to get like a rook on d5, but I mean, this is pretty extreme. I kind of like, yeah, I've got to take that. I mean, come on. He's got rook d5, so I think I have to take. I could play e6 actually. Then there's this f4 stuff. It feels like this has got to be the right move. The question is now, do I have g4? Probably not. I should just go after the c-pawn. And if like rook, well, he might have rook d1 now. For whatever that's worth. I can play rook c5. Now here I think I just go back. Does he have counterplay? f6. Okay, I go back. Then I take. It's fine. If f4 I take, he takes, and I take on c4. He takes on a5, and then I take something else. I don't know. What else can I take? e4. Or maybe c3. He goes b5. It's going to be a lot of pawns get chopped, and probably it ends up like a rook ending where I'm a pawn up. Hopefully I have enough time for one more game after this. But it is an instructive game. You know, I'm not saying my play was absolutely correct, but the idea of the king being an active piece in these kind of endgames is very, very important. 3 spectators. He's not playing. Xerox. I think Last Dance has so many points he doesn't even have to play anymore. He can win the tournament sitting out the rest of the way. Even after hanging a mouse slip against me. Alright, you got to take back. I take on c4. I guess I could play b6, but that doesn't really do anything. Rook c5 is interesting. How about that king and pawn endgame? I bet that's not good for me. Rook c5, rook takes c5, d takes c5. King b2, e5, f5, king g5, king c2, king here. I should be winning there. Rook c5 might eliminate counterplay. He would have rook d5 though. It doesn't really change anything. Yeah, rook d5 would be kind of irritating. I think rook c5, rook d5. Not that clear. So, to make forward progress, we're going to grab this. We grab the c3 pawn. Then we go back. We start grabbing the others. I don't think Nefedov needs to play faster here. I mean, rook takes a5, come on. You could play e5 check. That doesn't seem logical. You've got to do it. Now, if I take on e4, he goes b5. Yeah, actually taking on e4 looks pretty good. I will have 2 connected passed pawns after that. It's hard to believe that's not winning for me. It shouldn't matter. This pawn is less important. I am worried about his a pawn, but it's isolated, you know, so I don't think this move helps him in any way. He should just play rook b5 there. Anyway, is rook a7. Now I can just do check and take the f5 pawn with my king. This should be an easy win. 2 pawns up. Famous last words. Okay, maybe not so easy. He's got a4 now. I'll have rook a6 at the end, or right away, whichever way you want to do it. Rook a6, rook takes, pawn takes c5, pawn takes pawn, king c3, king here, king c4, king d6. Okay. Oh, okay, this was a blunder. I don't know if I'm winning anymore after rook takes b7. Alright guys, hopefully I get one more game. Back to tournament. We're hanging out, tied for 3rd place. But Cormorant already started another game. He's actually like finishing another game. He's playing Lakes Tau, much lower rated. I'm going to need to win. Oh, somebody beat Last Dance. Halligator took him out. I didn't think Last Dance was even playing. Or not. Last Dance lost to somebody? He lost to Ayeste? What happened? He just forfeited? That's pretty weird. Okay. Now we're playing him again. Good pairing. Good pairing with... I need to finish 3rd. Alright, I said I was going to play e4 every game. Now I forgot to play e4. That's alright. Bans my chat for beating him. Anyway, we all do strange things in the heat of anger. I don't know, man, but I mean, I take no responsibility for what people do individually in lichess. Maybe they don't want to. I banned a lot of people for chatting when I was like angry in online chess. I'm not gonna say, you know, anything about anyone. Kind of a strange order of moves for black here, but this actually is good. Taking on C is his best chance. Maybe slightly better endgame for white. But actually, should I play rook d1 check first? I don't know. Probably. Now he's hanging b7, but he gets counterplay there. This is weird. What is going on around here? He also has rook. What's happening after like bishop takes b7 followed by bishop a6? This is a strange position. Wow. His king is just chilling on d8. I mean, it doesn't look right. But now knight a3, rook c8. Bishop takes b7. Which way should I play this? Knight a3 or bishop takes b7? This suspicious opening for black. I must have like chat banned a million people, but not here on lichess, just in my life. So it's not my place to criticize anyone. You know, when you're on tilt and you're angry and you lost a game, I mean, you do things that you might regret later. I wouldn't take it personally. Knight a3. I don't know. I was very strongly tempted to play bishop takes b7, and then it felt like he was getting a little bit of activity with rook b8. This way, if rook c8, now I take on b7, and then if rook c7, I play bishop a6. And I have lots of threats, like bishop d2, bishop a5. This is our last game, actually. It'll be over. The tournament will be over, so I'll probably finishing 4th. Cormoran, you'll be 3rd. So no sweat, man. You're going to win a prize. Yeah, banning people for insulting them might be a reason. But anyway, I've chat banned a lot of people for a lot less than insulting me. Just I got angry and I kind of was on tilt and I was mad, you know. That was when I was younger and less mature. Bishop takes b7 here. Still though. Why not knight takes? This actually looks reasonable. Alright, we're slightly better, but it's not that devastating. Looks like he can probably survive this position if I don't play really well. I wouldn't want to be black against like Boris Gelfand or Kramnik. Can you guys stop, please, with the petty stuff in the Twitch chat? All right, B3. 3 minutes left till the tournament's finished. So we needed Bob more insults. Maybe you were joking, I don't know. I don't think sarcasm goes over really well in the internet. 99% of people don't understand if you're trying to be like sarcastic. Just goes over their heads just like that. Don't even try. It's like too complex a move to even try to use. I think that a lot of people turn their chat off, period, when they're playing Blitz. It's probably for the best. Do I have any tactics of any sort? Knight A5. Not a tactical move, but probably a good one. This stops A5, which is pretty irritating, while giving me some play. But he's hanging on here. No clear win yet. Well, I might have B4 at some point. He's going to play E5. He's defending pretty well. I guess the tournament, this is not going to count for the tournament. I will finish out of the money in this event, in any case. Rook C4. Rook C2. Okay, let's just build up the pressure somehow. I'm slightly better, but it looks like black can hold in this position. But again, it's not going to count for the standings. Unless somebody loses a queen. Oh, we already have no queens. Okay, somebody's gonna have to lose on time in the next 28 seconds. Got to top 10. It's not bad. There's a lot of tournaments, like 70 players. Anyway, the more players watching the chat, the more trolls there are. It's just a fact of life. We have a lot of viewers today, like 90, close to 100. But it's too much pettiness in the chat. I really don't care for that. Just concentrate on the play here. Rook C2. Guys, I'm going to be streaming for like another 20 minutes. We'll wrap up the tournament event, the finish, and go from there. H3, H4. I kind of like H3. Play G4. Put another pawn on the white squares. Having a knight on A5 makes me feel like Gelfand. He likes to do that in the Catalan or Aronian. I don't know, is this risky to play H3? I think he doesn't want to fix a pawn on the dark squares here. It's kind of like G4, and I'm a little better after that. Rook D7. How do I increase the pressure? It's hard to do. But it's hard for black to improve his position as well. Now what? Knight here. GRSA is challenging me. Can't get enough. Yeah, why did I do this move? Oh, okay. Anyway, I mean, this doesn't matter anymore. Nobody can win any more points in the event. So it looks like black's holding on here. Objectively, it's a draw after knight b6. I mean, draw-ish. His white still has a symbolic advantage, but I think that black has come away pretty well from a worse position. Oh, he's gone after this pawn. Okay. Probably a draw. This rook and pawn ending. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening there. It could get very sharp. Now we'll see some good technique. Now he's winning. I think he's winning. But I'm not sure. Excellent endgame technique by black. We'll see if we have time for one more game after this. Why didn't I take more time? Well, I mean, dude, the tournament is over, Holmes. Whoops. What happened? It's his turn. The tournament is over. The game doesn't count. You know, I guess I'm just kind of wanted to get over, you know. So I should have just offered a draw, you know, and ended it already. Before I was worse. I sort of lost my motivation when the time ran out, Bob. It could still be a draw, though. It's kind of tricky. It's really close. I mean, king f5 has to be the right move. f7 here takes. King d6. Yeah, it's a draw. Probably I just take here on e5. And then king d6. Dude, his technique is like a super GM or something. He's like, rook f4, e5, rook check. There it is. Rook check. I knew that was like the best move. Probably king c7 here. Perfect technique. Staying close to the pawn, guarding the queening squares. Oh. It's a draw. Oh my god. Wow. What a game. Alright. We've got one more game, like time for one more game basically. GRSA is challenging me. Alright, dude. Then we'll sum up the tournament. Just play this last game for fun. We'll take a look at the tournament standing after this is over. Actually, alright, dude. Good luck. Bonus game. I guess I finished 4th in the tournament. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning with Blitz and Classical Chess at 10 a.m. Let's play Bishop G7. I don't want any more Marazzis. After C takes D, knight takes. No fun allowed. You thought that was the international sarcasm symbol? What's that? Yeah. Alright, so... yeah, I've played knight c6 mostly here. I mean, knight h6 is another move. Now knight c3. This is pretty standard. Actually, it's probably more accurate for if I want to play bishop g4. I should really play it like right away. But anyway, I think this is still okay. I hope there's no problem with queen b3. Some insane move like that. It's been a long time since I played these lines, really. I don't play the Accelerated Dragon that much these days. Guys, I really am really bored with this discussion about insulting or not insulting. It's just really childish. So I'll ban, you know, whoever doesn't stop arguing about it. Alright. Castles, knight e7. It's distracting from the stream. I think this is pretty common. I mean, oftentimes, like, you wait for black to play h3, but if I do wait, you know, he might play something else. He could play like knight to g5 or something weird to avoid letting me exchange on f3. Yeah, it is similar to the French. I don't really like giving him this exchange, you know, without waiting for him to make this wasted move h3 and weakening his position, but I'm honestly not sure, you know. If I play like knight e7, knight g5, bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, you know, that looks kind of okay for white trading. I know it's his good bishop, but he has a big space advantage. I like this better. So now here, bishop g5, yeah. Years ago, I remember Roman Gigiashvili getting games like this we played once in a team tournament together. He had a game like just like this. The guy went like bishop f6 and just lost the pawn. It's probably fine for black. Maybe bishop takes e7 is the best move, trading pieces. So, I really appreciate you guys watching. I'd like to thank those of you who subscribed. Nefyudov, Bob, Super GM isn't a real thing, not technically. Move 11. Guys, we have a subscriber stream on Thursday. World Loser. Shout out to our subscribers who are here today. Bunch of you guys. The few, the proud. Uh-oh, yeah. Bishop takes e7, best move. And we don't really have much. I guess this is just equal, unfortunately. Oh well. Maybe bishop takes f3 isn't so great. If I just play knight e7 right away. But to be honest with you, I think I made a mistake like playing knight c6. I mean, normally I'll do this move right away. Or else we'll play like Jakob Attila played against me. Knight h6, rat style formation. There's also this crazy move that was played against me recently, a6, which apparently was played by Morozevich in a game. It's hard to understand the move a6 for me. But apparently, like, it's a real thing. So GRSA is equal here. I think he's still got some issues with the d4 pawn, but this is kind of aggressive to play knight b5. I understand. Maybe it's a good move. It looks kind of risky to me. You know, I mean, this knight just out there by itself. I understand your point to play knight d6, but I'm tempted to do something tricky. I think we have it. We have tricks. Tricks are for kids. Just when you thought it was safe to come out of the water, there's the combination from hell. And yeah, as I said, I mean, it just feels like white kind of, by playing knight b5, you know, he was attacking with like one piece. It's not surprising that something bad happens to a good person when they attack with just one piece. I don't understand intentionally resigning a game in a casual tournament. Hey, Tricks Only, what's up? He said no way, but I don't understand what he was talking about. In reference to what? Something I think I missed. Someone deleted Blind Panda's messages. Probably something pornographic. I don't know, dude. 4 words of yelling. Dude, the bot will block you for too many caps. It's just simple, basic, like, chat moderation. You're not, you know, you're just getting a temporary blockage. I'm sure that's not the only stream in the world that does that. Mubot. Now we just win a pawn. We're gonna win a second pawn on d6 basically. So it's pretty much game over. 2 pawns up. I mean, even with ops-colored bishops, it's I wouldn't resign with white, but against Kamsky I would. Or somebody who really savors being up like a pawn in an endgame. 2 pawns in this case. But this controls the entry point, you know, on c7, so white won't get any counterplay here. Little Pingwing, welcome. Last couple times you showed up pretty late, but thanks for coming anyway. We have a subscriber stream on Thursday, and maybe you can show up to that and contribute something like a game you played. We'll do some games analysis. Bishop takes d5 instead of queen takes d4 is not works. Oh, good question. What? Bishop takes d5 instead of queen takes d4? Bishop takes d5 instead of queen takes d4, he's saying. Bishop takes d5. Why does that matter? No, because, I mean, you're just losing a piece then. Good, I'm glad I'm so smart. Yeah, I mean, you're just losing a piece if you do that. You know, it doesn't help the situation. No. This way he lost 2 pawns. h4 is probably not a bad move. I guess I'll just let him play h5 and play g5. But the 2 pawns in the center should be decisive. This is the last game, guys. Then I'll just recap the final standings in the tournament. You think he means bishop takes e5. I thought he meant bishop takes d5. Queen takes d4. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, you mean bishop takes e5 instead of knight takes d4. I thought about that. I don't know if that's what he means or not, but anyway, like, it's an interesting discussion point. I was thinking about this first, and that's pretty cool. I get like 3 pawns for a piece. Knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight b5, bishop takes b2. And, you know, I might do that if I had nothing else, but it doesn't really, like, win. It's just unclear. The dude just doesn't stop. If you don't stop, we'll have to stop you. Don't harass the moderators. Alright, let's get all the pieces in the game. And, you know, I kind of like the way he played h4, h5, though. It looks like a reasonable try. Actually, I shouldn't have played rook d8. This is a dumb move. I should have been going for the c file here. I'm a little bit out of it. Actually, I'm surprised. You know, he shouldn't give me the c file. But that happened, and now we get down on the 7th, and he'll have to like trade rooks and play rook d2 now, which leaves him hanging on barely. Nearly lost. Objectively lost, but, you know, again, I wouldn't resign unless you're playing Gata. Yeah, World Loser has shown a lot of patience, I think. Alright, man. You're done. Good. My thoughts exactly. I mean, I really enjoyed the show, but I think that it's gotten a little old. Rook check. Yeah, objectively lost. Exactly, that's what I said. Still, it's not that easy to make progress. I can't win material by force. Rook c4. Force him to play the ultra awkward, like bishop h3. And then what? You know, I still can't win by force. I have to get my pieces, like, improved. My king, move the central pawns up. And it's still a process. The process has begun. Only move. Oh no, you have bishop f3. My excuse me. You had bishop f3. That's better. I'm just trying to trick him into playing bishop h3. It was a dirty trick, but no, you should play bishop f3, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you play a ridiculous move. It wasn't on purpose. Please, yes, by all means, play bishop f3. I agree 100%. I've got to get my king in the center, and you know, slowly. He's down 2 pawns. He also has kind of weakness at f2. It's pretty rough. So guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning, and we'll take a look at the final standings here of the viewer tournament in just a sec. I have bishop a5. Opposite colored bishops. You know, as long as I can get to connected past pawns are winning, but I think in general, you know, I don't really want to trade. I don't really want to trade rooks, but I'm looking at it here. Still, it should definitely be winning, though. I mean, even with opposite colored bishops, I've got 2 clear pawns up. Probably can force very powerful passed pawn with my king in a good position. This should be winning. You've got to take the rook. You cannot allow rook c2. My king should be able to penetrate in here. There goes another pawn. That's it. You know, he had to play bishop d3, but then my king would have walked in on the dark squares. So I don't think you can defend that. 2 pawns down. 1 pawn down would probably be a draw, but 2 pawns down is finito. Well, let's just be patient here. Get my king over to f4 maybe. Tie him down with the king on f4 here. Looks like a good start, and then playing f5. Break up his pawns. I don't know if f5 is a good move. I'm going to have to work a little bit here. Nice defense for 1300. Again, I question GRSA's rating. I mean, he's not a master, but I mean, 1300 is a little bit low. Hanging tough again. I don't know if this is a good move for me. Now he's 3 pawns down. I don't know. Yeah, I'm 3 pawns down now. He's like 4 pawns down. Not good. 3 pawns down was hard enough. It actually didn't seem that easy to win. I couldn't figure out how to create. I can't create 2 connected passed pawns somehow. 4 pawns down. It's very entertaining. But yeah, this is. He wouldn't resign in our simul as well. Not a big fan of resignation. GRSA. Yeah, maybe some bullet tournaments would be better. Then you can play faster. More moves faster and get more moves in. More moves is better. Now we can mate in 2. Yeah, don't stall on me there. Move before slow roll. Let's check out the tournament anyway. This was our tournament for tonight. This player is monstrously strong, but he dropped a mouse slip against me, and then I held him to a draw in the last game that didn't count, and he won every other game except for one, I think. Maybe he only lost that and then forfeited a game, which was weird. Okay, so he forfeited a game. Wins first place though. Xerox is second, which was a nice win, man. I mean, he's played some really amazing games. He lost against me in a McCutcheon in a Winnower in the beginning of the tournament, but it was a really interesting opening. And Cormoran, of course, who's done for today, is he's finished third, which is a good result. He's around 2,200. I finished fourth. Unfortunately, my last round game against it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. It was a draw, so I wouldn't have had enough points to catch Cormoran. Morphital Fisher was 5th, and then Matula, Orbidic, I'm a Kitty, Ayesta, and Quaz rounding out the top 10. Yeah, I think GRSA, you're a little underrated there for 1350. Number 9, brand new players wins the tournament. Well, it happens all the time. I mean, it's probably not a brand new player. It's probably another player who is on his like 10th account or something. He's not technically brand new. Anyway, guys, thanks for playing, and it was fun. Some interesting games. I'm more of a host than a competitor for this thing, so I'm just a spoiler, finishing 4th. But anyway, I don't like to do you know, berserking and stuff like that. I like to talk about the games, and so I'm not trying to really like finish first. That's just my like, you know, disclaimer. Just as I'll never win, I always have a disclaimer. Just kidding. So you guys played well. Last Dance, I guess, you know, he just dominated and deservedly wins. So the mystery man takes the tournament down. He's got a 1,500 rating. It's solid. But seriously, sorry for the disruption, you know, and the arguments in the chat today. But overall, it was fun, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd like to thank well, Tricks Only for hanging out here at the end. Also, our moderators, Soroche and highly controversial World Loser. No, just kidding, man. You do a good job. Thanks for helping, and I appreciate it. I'd like to thank our subscribers, and you know, just continue to subscribe. I think that right now there still might be a sale going on still on Twitch. You can get like subscriptions for half price. So if you're not sure about subscribing, I think you can still. I'm not sure, but I think you can still do half price subscriptions. Will I create any new videos this week? Yes, Move 11. Thanks to you, in fact, I have time for to make a new simul video, so that'll be coming out for my YouTube channel this week. I'm going to go over some games from the last 2 simuls in a video on my YouTube channel on Video Chess Training. That's my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Done my monologue now, so time to go to bed and get ready for tomorrow morning and the Blitz stream. We will. He's banning people on the Twitch chat. Anyway, I didn't read that earlier, but I don't think too many. You still wouldn't. He would still be talking. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. It was fun, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Later, guys. Bye bye.